Hello and welcome everyone to Disco Elysium, the final cut. We are here with the Delinquents in their little wonderful tent and we have to talk to them, so let's do that.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Walshy tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret,
hardcore!
And nothing.
Hardcore!
Still nothing.
Hardcore to the mega!
And nothing.
Internally coherent.
I was wondering if you knew who killed the mercenary behind the Walling and Rex hostel.
Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yeko Kata, the place to be!
Why is this Yekokata the place to be? What does that mean?
Yeko Kata is a hardcore place!
could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Solve the egghead puzzle.
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
Annoyed, a strangely dressed young man says without looking up from his toolbox. What if I want to speak to you first?
I suck at socialising, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in, get a reading on your sign.
Before he's finished talking, he's already turned back to his tools.
Maybe you should just stand there, watch him rattle his toolbox, get to know his sign.
Okay, just stand here and observe him.
The contents of the young man's toolbox are organized in a neat yet eclectic manner. He is constantly checking out the various tools and parts and rearranging them slightly. It's a bit hypnotizing if you look at it long enough.
I have all kinds of screws.
He holds up a handful. A whole lot of stuff.
I'd have a whole lot more stuff if I had a place where I could keep that stuff.
What do you do with all that stuff?
These are my consumer items and my means of production. I enjoy them. Talk to Andre. No point in standing here. The signs are really out of tune.
Sync the signs with Noid. Okay. Is this Andre?
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Take us out.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg!
Egg! The tape player high above his head continues to blast strange music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Wait, how many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There's no need. The place is pretty bad.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
Enough histrionics. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dope heads.
Dope heads! Egg!
Burnouts.
He angrily spits on the screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock.
Nah, strike that. In Revachol.
Strike that! The world!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kinds. No narcomaniacs on my watch. Take your hat, Bradley.
Yes, yes. And the worst part is, they're also spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
No.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
Did you put the padlock on the door?
Yes. I asked Noy to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
I need the key.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key. All right.
Let's try it. 28%. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies towards you.
It's as if time has frozen somehow. You think you can sense the key moving in the air. Yeah, this is going to be way cool.
Don't ruin the cool by overdoing it. Raise your hand in front of your face with minimum effort.
Blam! Straight in the eye. Straight in the old eye hole. In the looking ball. A stabbing pain. Tears stream uncontrollably from your right eye.
Ouch! God damn it, asshole! What is wrong with you? Can't you see I'm in pain now?
Man, I'm super sorry. That was totally my bad. I got overexcited. Threw him too hard. I'm sorry.
He looks like he's genuinely sorry. He didn't throw them better.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You almost eye-murdered me. A cop. It's use of lethal force.
I really am sorry, man. Just take this, okay?
He pulls out some black paper from his belt.
Wow, looks like there's quite a lot there.
That's the least you could do. Take them on.
I hope that settles it. Or wait. The key?
Okay.
He is shifting in his spot, uncomfortably, still feeling sorry.
We got
for the
25
mishap.
bucks out of that.
We were talking about the padlock, I think.
How long have those people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
85% is good enough. No one lives forever, baby.
Exactly. That's exactly what we thought.
The cage of the rage! Rough blaze!
Egg means the situation is monitored. It's relatively safe. No one has died yet.
Okay.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
What exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved?
Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there. One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, Tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
For this man,
Egg.
even regular silence is awful enough. But that was something greater.
You haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kind of
Oh, a
it.
woman. Might that be the third mercenary? What was that about something watching you?
Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human, as in a ghost. Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man.
Crabman.
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Are you sure there was a crabman? Oh, ambush behavior. Mm-hmm. Crabman.
Crabman!
Crabman!
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a...
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
The implications of this are too numerous to consider. Proceed with caution. Learn all you can before entering that dark building.
Can you tell me more about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
So how can you be sure there are burnouts and dope heads if you haven't seen them in them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Wow, you can, but you do. I should add weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from?
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Sure. What?
I know Noid has his signs, but what's the deal with the egghead there?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
Master of ceremonies.
You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans. He's a performer, gets the people going.
How do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to him?
Yeah, sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his center, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself.
You mentioned some ecclesiasts on the church. Who are the ecclesiasts?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Oh, the founding party. I do know them, but can you refresh my memory?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know? I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organization.
And?
And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericanassian church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, made the innocentic system, no?
Doesn't sound like they would appreciate a dance club in their church.
You're totally wrong about that.
The Pericanassian church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericanassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance.
He finally shakes the tape player as if to see if he can break it.
Love is hardcore.
Unity!
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
Turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will now break into dance.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters.
Let's nod our head.
Feels good.
I don't quite understand what you're talking about. What's a posse?
Your posse's like your people, man. Like you got your cup posse. You look out for each other and you party together. That's a posse.
2 men and a woman stand on the beach, under a row of houses long abandoned to war damage. The words, "Felled Electrical," have peeled off the turn-of-the-century waterfront development. One of the men carries a small boy on his shoulders. The boy looks up at the faded logo. The woman says to him, "Good to see you here, Special Consultant. We're worried about the Lieutenant Yefreto." "Why are you worried about the Lieutenant Yefreto?" asks the boy. Then a wave comes crashing in.
Sounds like you're just saying random things. Love, posse, make noise.
Are we?
He looks at you mysteriously.
You hear a wave crashing outside, not far. It's a big one. The rumble dissipates into the baseline.
Yeah!
I guess love can be pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, it can.
He's coming around. You're getting it.
I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. The Nordic music is about love, and so is the Paracanassian Church.
Yeah! Yakokata, the place to be.
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving.
Yeah! Let it out! Let the disco happen! Bring the disco into this world! Get this church shit on, and then dance there, motherfucker!
I want to ask you about this tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
I see you brought your own water.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even is running water.
And it's distilled too.
Oh,
He doesn't know what to say.
it's the one they sell at the fuel station.
I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here.
It does, doesn't it?
Told you we have a smell problem.
He picks up a piece of telephone cord and inspects it. Wait, I also smell ether. Why?
Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid?
No,
It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent like laundry detergent.
He sniffs the air, then shrugs. A shrug is good enough for us. Why say it when you can shrug it?
What's with all the Nosafat?
The what now?
The Nosafat Ultra. We have a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra. I have a major sinus infection.
Oh.
Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
Sound fine to me.
Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosafed is the shit.
Can I have some? I have some nose problems too.
Sure. Here you go, officer. The
Okay.
Noser. Blast away.
I get the Nosafat, but what about the engine starting fluid?
The engine starting fluid? It's for starting engines.
What engines do you start with then?
What's with the goddamn Romangarod earrings? It's cold. The fluid's for the generator.
How's that extra high ether content working out for you? Does it do the trick?
I guess it does.
You know, maybe that slight set of ether I felt before is somehow connected to ethyl ether.
No idea, man.
Alright.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Maybe everything is not quite as you've been told. I have a feeling, like, are they building a bomb or something? We have a 3% chance. We have no logic, though. I wonder...
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Let's first see what this apricot thing
Apricot
does for
chewing
us.
gum scented one. August 2nd, early late summer. You're getting off the streetcar in Le Jardin, east of the river. Her father and mother are middle class. The nylon of her little jacket rustles next to you, in the dark, like autumn leaves. Her heels click on the pavement. You're walking up to the gate in front of her parents' house. She takes out her chewing gum and you kiss her. A feeling like electricity flows through your whole body. Immediately, you know that you've entered a completely different world.
Another +2 to perception. We now are so very perceptive. We have 12 in perception. I want to see if we can boost our logic a little bit. That could take some smokes, which would be an option. Maybe just for a short period of time, enhancing our logic might also be. We could put on these. Glasses. And this. And this. And this. It's logic +2 even. Let's see if I can get some more out of them.
Hi again. So,
58%.
how's things going?
That's pretty good. If I now take a smoke, I think we might have a good chance of actually doing it. There we go.
Hi again. So,
72%.
how things going?
Come on, let's go.
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids, now gather around.
The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective.
But you still are!
Thank you for your kind words, but everyone in here sees I'm a disgrace in the universe.
What happened?
Disco happened. Smelled so impossibly sweet.
He doesn't know what to say.
Now, obviously that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me.
The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong.
This isn't the making of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
One's at the speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
Where's his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker. You have only one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
The nose effect is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
The ethyl ether from Capri Lange, a solvent, good for getting acting agent out of a solution.
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether.
There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Preposterous?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
I mean, you heard I'm the dirtiest cop this side of the river. I'll make life hard for you using every connection I've got.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again, then finally raises his hands.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revachol.
Because we are! We totally are!
We just got to turn it into a speed lab first.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
Why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
Oh. Let's do this clean. No speed lab, just a club for hypnotic music.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportion, his teeth beam and floodlight.
I knew it.
The would-be leader drops his spiked head between his knees.
It's impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for hypnotic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance.
What's that about fish?
There needs to be a club for hypnotic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves and I can't. We are running out of time. We need a win, Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
This will be nothing. You can hear the ice crack underneath you. Outside, the last century waterfront development is crumbling in the wind. A grape-shot row of falling houses. And so is Rue de Saint-Jérôme and all the houses on Main Road. The old cinema is sinking underneath Villa La Bosse.
Wait, does anyone else feel that?
What?
Nothing. Let's call this incident crime prevention. But I have my eye on you.
Okay. We'll try to do it without the drugs.
He raises his hat from between his
We'll do a
knees.
straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but, I swear to God. Okay, Egg?
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
As always, we'll be right here.
All right. I mean, I think that went pretty well. All things considered. Now, I gotta put on my... my stuff again. Empathy. Where's my visor? I think that's it. That's all I switched out. Okay. That was interesting. Let's leave the tent. Do they now have something else to see?
This is hardcore.
Is it?
It's hardcore!
You just gotta keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibba-dee, skibba-danger. I am the rearranger.
Oh. Okay. Enough there. Kim will be proud that we solved this. I didn't want them to set up a speed lab, but at the same time, also feel like our character wouldn't be too harsh on them. Like a club in a church? Doesn't sound too bad to me. I am curious though what's in the church now. Getting pretty late in the day though, so maybe that's something we'll have to check out tomorrow. There's the girl still outside that we need to talk to.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh, hello there.
She must be Estelle, the last of the speed freaks, posse. It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
You must be Estelle.
That's my name. I take it you have met the others. Did they tell you about the church and the club thing?
They did?
Will you help us?
What happens in the tent stays in the tent.
That's cool by me.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your head?
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
I said you should have had a hat on.
So should you.
Do have to do... I don't have to do anything. I'm the law. You have to do what the law says. I should, and I do. Point to your hat.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too if you plan on staying outside in this weather.
Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
Oh, like 3%. Is that kind of language really necessary?
I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else. My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan.
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it.
I don't care. I'm loco. I just wanted you to know that I know about the plan.
Okay, but I still regret it. I should have been able to control them, and I will in the future. I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them?
Do what you will with your dance club plans, just no drugs.
Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
True. We'll see. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Like a crab, you say?
What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
I'm thinking about that possibly like a drone or something.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds
Maybe
ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger?
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
We're wrong. I do believe you.
Why?
What would you stand to gain?
Nothing. Anyway, what else?
I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
Just answer the question, please.
Sorry. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
To the cops.
What about you? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Okay, maybe I'll ask later, but...
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
What's that device you have there?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
The wires?
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
What's a contact microphone?
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
How does that thing work?
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble.
Where did you get the mic from?
Same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum.
What's the Palaceum?
Oh man, you haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Oh.
Thinking about it really cheers her up. It's a long way from here, though.
Sounds interesting. Who's this Arno guy?
Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum going kind of person.
I get down.
I don't know what that means.
A grind.
I don't know what that means either.
Nor do I, but I have concrete evidence that I rock, in the form of a wrecked tape player and a completely trashed hostel room.
That's cool.
Breathes on her finger. Looks like she doesn't know what to say. Right, time has deserted me.
Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps?
Actually, I had some non-mic questions for you.
Okay.
What are you doing out here in the cold?
Recording, I guess.
And what is it you're recording?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice. But there's no way to tell. Not without headphones.
Wait, what happened to
think
your
I
headphones? Oh,
My boyfriend sold them.
what for?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
Everything checks out, sire.
And what are these recordings for? The cracks? The footsteps?
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain.
Okay.
Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway.
Drops her shoulders and looks around.
I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
She looks at the recording device. The thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish, very useless all of a sudden.
Take this, your call.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
Oh, this is where a hat would come in handy.
Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat.
Don't want to give her... Hey, give her my hat.
Thanks. Go
I
ahead.
want my hat back. The tape recorder lies on the ice like a discarded toy. Pick it up.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands.
I'm sorry I have to sit here on the ice feeling miserable at your age, or at any age, in this weather, waiting for it to get dark.
She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup.
The people who built this world intended it to be better for you, but they failed. It is easier to live in their failure with this by your side. Tap the tape recorder.
The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
Not a childish fantasy. It can be a real weapon against what's coming for you now.
What is?
Dark.
I know. I'll stick to it.
Something changes between you two. She looks at you differently now. As an equal. A fellow human being.
So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer?
Is that eating me? There's nothing eating me.
Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want to.
I guess there is something that's been making my life hell.
What is it?
I think it's the plight of the working class.
Oh, really?
The golem of capital runs rampant, smashing creator and slave alike. I feel the process is irreversible.
Wow. Social justice really matters that much to you? That's commendable. It really had you shaken up there. Are you sure that's it, though?
I haven't seen much of this world, but from what I've seen, social justice is an adolescent term. Sounds almost liberal. What's got me shaken up is the people's struggle, and it's got me shaken up bad.
Yeah, man. They're pretty bad.
It makes me sick thinking about the thousands, millions, billions. How many people are there, actually? How many people are there in the world?
3.6 billion, not counting those in sale.
Really? That many? Reduces me to tears thinking of the 3.6 billion and God knows how many more in that sale place, crushed under the tyranny of the market.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Are you sure you're not just hung up on some chick, though?
Perhaps.
Now that you mention it, I found these letters I'd thrown in the trash. They might have something to do with it.
Okay. Why'd you think that?
Well, first they had just the faintest sound of chewing gum on them. I could still smell it under the lid.
Wow, man. That's pretty symbolic. Don't you think?
Yes, I found that to be very symbolic too.
Okay. What else?
They were written in a woman's hand, and oh boy, did reading them make me not feel good.
There you have it then. Chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she?
I don't remember.
Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this chica. Are you sure you don't remember anything about her?
I remember her scent, and that's all.
Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why would I have reacted so strongly otherwise?
How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing?
I think it's more about me getting so unbelievably drunk I completely erased all memory of this world.
Yeah, or it might be that. This one time I did so much booze that I forgot too.
It's obvious she's done more than booze.
Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank.
This Königstein wank.
You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly rich.
Thanks for the bullshit psych thing, then.
You're welcome. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten, though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't scratch.
Fair enough.
Okay, bye.
Don't scratch and sniff. Okay, it's getting pretty late. It's 11:41, so I think what I want to do is return to the fishing village. Oh, I have to put on new hat. I'm a little bit mad that I lost my good hat, but this happens. We could put on this one. Logic +2, logic +1. I think this one we have high perception. I think that is a fair.
Winter,
Shivers.
slow to let go of Revachol. Flecks some more wet snow from above.
Look around you.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring.
How does it feel?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look around.
What's in the west?
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast.
Beyond that?
The waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin. A boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet.
What is here?
Below the old mines, l'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. Le Petit Rat braved the underground passageways. Le Royaume,
Le Royaume?
where the Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning.
That's where Kuno said he's going to go.
Yes, to peel the gold off with his fingernails.
Le Petit Rat?
Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums. And for fabled relics, their parents let them. They go deeper.
Deeper?
After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, Grand old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent. 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty.
Wipe the snow from your shoulder.
Few Petit Rat return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water.
What's in the east?
The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds.
That's all?
Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king.
And further?
A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood.
What's in the north?
The abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which were collectively called Les Sept Sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the Revolution.
And further north?
A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul.
And on the islets?
The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell. Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection, way beyond Martinez. A popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets.
And on the other side of the inlet?
Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far.
Before that, before the curtains are drawn.
The Bay of Revachol, vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air-brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Mauryan, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the coalition warship Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder.
What's in the south?
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox.
The Pox
was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since. The Pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off.
But still,
heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace.
Further south?
A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, it was home. I want more.
The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning. Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens and the chop shops of the Zemliaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor. looking for something, like whiskers.
For what?
A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind.
What's above?
More coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly.
What's below me?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. The storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle.
Tell me a secret of the sands, wind.
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows?
Stop your feet for warmth, rushing of the snow.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up.
I really like these little moments where it's like, I don't really know what's happening here, but it's kind of cool to get like a feel for this world. Quite literally, considering what we're doing. Okay, so we're back at the fishing village. Very late. Do have his jacket. But I think it is time.
It's getting late and it's snowing. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kip.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
All right.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum.
Listen.
The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
Looks like this is my new home. Wonder where the old one went.
Westward, across the canal, towers the whirling in rags. Door number 1 on the second floor is locked. Behind it lies a trashed room. 1 floor below, behind a counter, stands an irritable man. In a small shack in the fishing village, a baroque heater hums quietly, emanating a sense of comforting warmth. A wash basin lies on the table, the water inside reflecting the somber face of the world. Far away, on the corner of Perdition and Main, a nondescript building, obscured in a haze. It's vacant and lost, just like its tenant.
Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of the current situation.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Look under the floorboards.
Look under the floorboards? I can do that. Okay, that is spooky. I think this is a good time to take a break, and then next time we will continue, probably by ending the day. Maybe I will check out the legal document that we got from Everard. Maybe we can forge it now that we don't automatically lose the fail all red checks. So that is something, and then we'll see what the next day brings. Lots of things to do for us. Thank you all for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. It all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. If you want to go above and beyond, you can check out the Patreon link down below, and I will be back with more Disco Elysium, the final cut, tomorrow. Until then, have a great time.